thanks to encouragement from your mixer producer, you were able to kind of let go of what started 6 or 7 years ago as just like an idea on paper. You blossomed it into your first single.
So I beg you, please let us witness and stay the rise and fall of every sun-drenched day. We'll unwind and unlock.
I had this like riff that I had for like 10 years before that I had been playing this whole time, but it never had like found like a song and stuff. And so one night I was just like, oh, let me just play it and stuff. And then I just came up with this just idea of like, hey, I am super stressed and I don't want to be stressed anymore.
The morning rush gets quicker, the longer I don't stop.
I'm thinking back on it now, and it's kind of like really something about like a song really about me and my wife, because when I think about like how do we de-stress as a couple, we really like taking time off and just being just like really just like doing nothing and not feeling guilty about it. Tiff, I don't know exactly I don't remember exactly how I asked like you to sing on it.
Yeah.
But I feel like I slowly hinted at, hey, maybe we could record something one of these days, kind of a thing.
Yeah, you were like sly about it. You were just like, hey,
yeah.
I have something that I kind of like and
Yeah.
would like to hear your voice on it. Yeah.
The morning rush gets quicker, the longer I don't stop.
I actually got my start in high school. So singing with the church group and then doing like some special music, either sometimes by myself or sometimes duets. And then I live in Orlando, and this was around the time when like boy bands were very popular. So I was in like a pop girl group. Nothing like, we didn't, become famous or anything, but we were like worked on a demo. We did some performances. And so I, did the whole pop thing with a choreography and the singing. So
I remember we got that, like, we were recording in my office in our house. You were even like learning the song too, and we were like working out parts too. But even then, you were just like, "Oh my gosh, you knocked it out of the park!" And we had
a family thing.
Yeah, it was a family thing going on outside. But everybody, thanks to my wife, was like, "Please keep quiet, please keep quiet, please keep quiet," and stuff.
Well,
and I was just...
my daughter Blair told me the other day, because she heard the song and she recognized it immediately. She's like, "That's
Nice.
the song that you were singing." She was like, and I was like, "How do you know?" And she was like, "We were listening at the door the whole time."
Who gave you that solo?
Well, you did. Well, 90% of the time when you were playing, it was just you teaching me the guitar and how to play the song and just me memorizing it. I try to keep in mind that I'm just, in the background. I don't want to, take over the whole band. I just want to be the sprinkles on the cake, if you will. I would shred and just for fun, because I thought it was cool at the time. I still think it's cool. But
It's
you
cool.
constantly tell me, hey, tone it down, tone it down 10%. And I hear the song sometimes, and it's just kind of like a reminder. And I think this pandemic can really show it to how important it is, to enjoy your time with someone. It's like a wake-up call. And whoever you're with, and especially your loved ones, you gotta run out the clock with them and enjoy your time, and just remind yourself, every moment with someone is important.
After my first university degree, I tried to get into the College of Music at the University of the Philippines. I pursued my music studies there. Yeah. Then after that, I got the opportunity to start playing in a band that landed a recording contract with Warner Music Philippines. And then I started doing session work and studio work after that. Eventually landed into a game music or a game scoring gig, and I've been there ever since, doing game music and animation.
One of the things I remember during the process of recording it was that it's a pretty good song, and I was actually excited because most of the time when I do recording tracks for some of my other clients, it's very stringent. I don't have much creative control on my own tracks, and these are the obligatories for this. I just want these certain parts, but after anything else, you just enjoy the song. So I basically enjoyed the song. It's one of the earlier tracks I've done because it's been quite a few years since we've collaborated on this track.
So I needed somebody to help me finish the mix and stuff. And sometimes with music, you kind of need that because I wasn't confident enough to like publish my own stuff or whatever. So I asked Kenny. Kenny, what happened eventually?
Let's just say that we had a 1 year we were distracted 1 year because honestly, I met BJ at the end of 2018, and I was just starting my audio engineering school, and too much stuff was going on. I will say abruptly invited myself to perform with BJ, and that's basically where it started. Tiffany, you were there. You were there in that cool one, and then the one in October where Shayne actually started popping by us.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was it was like a year ago.
It was a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
Like
another year full circle.
Honestly, I had the track with me for a year. I didn't work on it much because I didn't have the room to, like, this is my office / studio. I didn't have the room, the equipment, and the preparations to actually finish the track. The pandemic hit, and it was like, what do I do now? After I moved, it's like, okay, BJ, it's time to do something. One of the projects that I looked into, I was like, I still have the Run Out the Clock. You want to go ahead and do that? We started adding more stuff, and is where BJ started saying, I'm the one that brought it down to earth. He had it up there, and I brought it down to earth. From there, it was more like the creativity, trying to find out what everybody did, their efforts, and putting it all together and make them all stand out. And then it's like, all right, it's time to bring the new minutes and seconds. That's why you hear my percussion, and then you hear Shayne in the background.
Yeah.
What kind of dynamic change did you see or did you feel when you added Shayne to the song?
Initially, the song was about me and my wife, right? Where it's like, run out the clock with me. We're not in a hurry. And then so even when Tiff like sang it, it still sounded just like a love song, right? When Shayne sang back the harmony on it, it changed the song. So the song stopped being a love song about someone with their significant others to almost like a song about sisters.
Every list that I accomplish only rewards me with more to do.
Oh, so we're so excited about releasing your single, etc. I'm like, yeah, definitely. And in my head, it was like minutes and seconds featuring Tiffany is like, what are we waiting for? I heard everything, like the initial the raw mix Kenny did, and I was like, yeah, all we're waiting for is like leveling and all that. And then BJ just started pressing on his keys, giving me notes. I'm like, oh, can you do this? Some oohs and ahs. I'm like, yes, BJ. Come on now. Like, he was sitting there like directing me. No, for real, directing me throughout the whole time. We listened to Tiffany, the original track, trying to make it work. It's like, how can you blend or how can you make it mix as if y'all did it at the same time? Because that's making harmonies with Tiffany's voice recorded already, and like adding oohs and ahs to that isn't like just putting another track. It has to blend and the notes gotta match. And you can't just adjust Tiffany's voice because that's it. So we were there from dinner till midnight.
We're midnight, yeah.
So I'm not gonna waste this day.
I was like, BJ, let's long story short, BJ, let's just release it. You're holding too tight on it. I was very confident on everybody's work, performance, and I was like, this is it. And BJ is like, let's try this one more time. Let's just do this. And this is where I had to be very like Kenny, and I told BJ, we need to release this. This needs to be out there. This is like a new beginning, and don't be afraid. I'll hold your hands. Let's go ahead and do it.
Running out the clock, how that would look to me is like a slow, lazy day of just either watching on Netflix or Amazon Prime or whatnot, and or reading. That would be my thing. Spending it with my wife and with family and some close friends. That's how I would like to spend my day with people. And definitely eating.
I'm very lazy minded when it comes to like having I saw that face. No, I'm very lazy minded when it comes to a lot of my just relaxing. But whether it is with my fiance, whether it is with my family, I do space out in a sense of reflection of where I'm at right now, and I just like to take my time just thinking about how far I've gotten from point A to point B. Like point A was 1 year ago. I didn't even have a nephew nor a fiance. 1 year later, I have 5, 1 coming on the way and 4, and then I'm about to get married. So it's a reflection time for me.
It's like one of those days where you wake up and you're like, I'm gonna eat now. Maybe this is breakfast, lunch, and dinner for me, but I'm just gonna eat. And then you just sit and like not really turn the TV on, not turn like the lights on, like just turn the blinds, like just the light piercing through, and just sit there and talk. Or like, especially with like some of my family in Australia or in the Philippines, you just call them, talk while you eat, and when they're about to go to sleep, you're like, let me just sleep with your time zone and see you again later. Wake up and then start your whole week again.
I will go with the obvious and running the clock, with my family. My husband, Franco, my daughters, Blair and Audrey. And we savor the weekends and we just, enjoy each other's company. It's funny because actually yesterday Blair was like, imagine if there was no time. And it's funny because I knew that this was coming up, and I was like, oh, that's so interesting that she's bringing it up. And I was like, well, what would that mean to you? And she was like, we wouldn't have to, we would never be late for school. We would never have to go to sleep at a certain time, and it would be amazing. So, yeah, that's what it means to me, just spending time with, my loved ones.
How old is Blair?
Oh.
She's 7.
That's profound.
Yeah.
Very much.
Good.
Yeah.
Out of the mouths of babes.
Yeah.
I beg you, please let us witness and stay the rise and fall of this sun-drenched day. We'll unwind and unlock, and you can run out the clock.
I am a designer, so I do car design, graphic design, industrial design, product design stuff, and I have an Instagram. It is _Paolo Designs.
I have a worship single out called More Than Enough. It's on Spotify, YouTube Music, Amazon, iTunes, and Apple Music. And also my instrumental album called Speaking in Tongues is also available in most digital platforms.
KMC Audiovisual Consultations, located in Orlando, Florida. I work basically Central Florida. The kind of work I do is studio work, show production, and I also do percussive recording as well.